All right. Andy Ruiz said he looked past Anthony Joshua and made a whole lot of excuses for why he took that L. Haven't talked about Andy Ruiz yet, but we're going to do it in this video. All right, welcome back to the channel, subscribers. If you are not subscribed, please subscribe and hit the bell icon so you can be notified of when we release more videos. And also, I want to say a special thank you to the new members on the channel. Thank you guys so much for your support. Also, the Patreon community. You guys are always there rocking with me on the Patreon uploads that are not related to boxing necessarily. Make sure you check out the new video we got coming up, which is 3 reasons why young people struggle in life. That's what we're going to talk about on Patreon next. Make sure you go to the Patreon page and check it out, to the Patreons. Also, thank you to everybody that supports in the live streams Monday through Friday through the super chats. Thank you guys so much for your support. And also make sure you come by OG Boxing Talk on Sunday, 8 a.m. Central Standard Time. We're very mature boxing fans talk boxing, okay? Mature boxing fans. If you are 18-year-old dude in love with Anthony Joshua, it is not the place for you, okay? If you think that a 45-year-old man is old, it's not the place for you, because obviously you've never met anybody 80 and don't know how to do math. But let's get to Andy Ruiz. All right, man. Andy Ruiz fell into what you call the Buster Douglas syndrome. And what that is when you get a lot of money, your desire to train is reduced. And seriously, there is an article, you guys can Google it, look at the economics of boxing. And there's I think it's a PA, I can't remember, I think it's out of University of Chicago. And he was writing about the economics of a boxing contract. And he basically laid out here, man, that you got to make sure that you have the proper incentives for boxers. That promoters their job is to try to get as many fights as they can out of a fighter and not overpay the fighter, because when you overpay a fighter, the hunger of the fighter goes away, is decreased, and therefore their interest in training and being in their top shape is in jeopardy, right? So the point, and now they're arguing that, I brought that up before, arguing that, look, man, boxers want to get as much money as they can for a fight so that they can stick it in the bank and they can retire, right? And they don't have to have as many fights and they don't have to have all that wear and tear on their body, right? But it was a very, very, it was an indisputable observation that when fighters get a lot of money, their next fight, many times they can suffer because they party too much, they don't train, there's really nothing motivating them to get up in the morning, so they let stuff slip. And it definitely appears that that was the case with Andy Ruiz. Andy Ruiz was flying on, we did videos about it earlier, man, everybody can see this early on, that Andy Ruiz was, you know, he became a heavyweight champion unexpectedly. I don't even think he expected it, because if he expected it, I don't necessarily think he would have reacted like he reacted, because he would have felt like, look, man, I belong here. I ain't surprised to be here. I belong here. But, you know, the day after, he's on these big, long stretch limousines. He's going to Jimmy Kimmel's show, right? He's doing Snicker bars, plugging Snickers and all that stuff. I mean, clearly, man, the dude did not stay super hungry, right? Literally or figuratively. I don't believe that dude spent 2 seconds with his stomach feeling hungry in that period of time. And definitely mentally, he was not striving and being obsessed with repeating what he did the first fight with Anthony Joshua. I don't have any doubt about that. I think that is a very, very valid criticism. And it's also understandable that somebody could be in that situation because it has happened with many people. It's happened with Muhammad Ali. Muhammad Ali, there was times when Muhammad Ali was fighting, making a lot of money, fighting guys that he was like, I don't really even have to train for this guy. So he might come in a little overweight because he just feel like, you know, he was just so much better than the other guy. and he didn't necessarily always train the way that he really should train. And that's a statement that Larry Holmes said about Muhammad Ali. But Muhammad Ali is a hell of a lot better than fighter than Andy Ruiz is, and had more room for error than Andy Ruiz did. All that said, excuses are tools of incompetence used to build monuments of nothing, okay? Andy Ruiz got whooped, period. Andy Ruiz got whooped. You take that L like a man. You know you ain't never getting near Anthony Joshua again. I don't really know whether or not you're going to actually get close enough to another major championship fighter again, because you've proven that you're dangerous. You proved that you were dangerous in the first fight. You're proving that if you're in the ring with you, that you can hit somebody with a left hook, you can rock these dudes and you can get them out of there. And you've proven that you're more than dangerous enough where guys like Dillian White ain't gonna fight you. Guys like Tyson Fury, well, Tyson Fury would probably fight you because that's easy money for Tyson Fury, just the style wise, right? But a lot of these guys that are up and coming fighters, man, or people, they're not gonna want to fight Andy Ruiz, because Andy Ruiz has already shown that he presents legitimate problems, and when he's trained and when he's sharp, that, hey man, this dude is one of the top heavyweights. But Anthony Joshua, and I want to just say this, Anthony Joshua beat that dude, man. Anthony Joshua's the better fighter. That's what I saw on Saturday. I saw Anthony Joshua was the better fighter. And I believe that Anthony Joshua is the better fighter between the two of them. And what I mean by that is, when they fight each other, Anthony Joshua should win. Anthony Joshua has the height, and he has the reach, and he has the skills necessary to execute a game plan that will beat Andy Ruiz. And I think that if they fought again, the same thing would happen if Andy Ruiz walked in there at 225 pounds, ripped, 225 pound ripped. His arms aren't going to get any longer. And unless he's fighting under, and I'm saying it, unless he's fighting under a circumstance where the testing is so thorough that Anthony Joshua is going to be able to keep that endurance, and he's going to be able to keep and move that endurance around, for 12 rounds and stay on the outside. And he's not going to get any rounds. Andy Ruiz is not going to get any rounds on the card against Anthony Joshua, the same way that ain't nobody getting any rounds off of a card with Canelo Alvarez. Because when there's legitimately a bunch of money behind a fighter, the people involved in that want to get money on the next fight too. So I do believe that that's going to be the case. That's just the case with Anthony Joshua and Andy Ruiz. Now, what that means for Anthony Joshua moving forward, because people keep coming to my channel, hey, when are you going to give Anthony Joshua his credit? You need to give him his credit. Look, man, I gave Anthony Joshua the credit before the fight started because I said the dude was going to win. I thought he was going to win. Oh, but for none, you said it was going to have to be some jerky stuff. The judges were going to rip him off, and it needed to be all that, and all that didn't need to happen. He just beat him. Look, man, what I said was unanimous decision, Anthony Joshua. If I had bet you money on that fight, and I said, I bet you that this fight is a unanimous decision for Anthony Joshua, I'm betting it's not going to be knockout in round 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 for either guy. Anthony Joshua's not knocking him out. Andy Ruiz is not knocking him out. It's going to go to the cards, and it's going to be a unanimous decision. I don't know whether it's going to be 5 rounds, whether it's going to be 115, 113, 115, 113, 113. I don't know. I don't know if it's going to be all one guy is going to have it 118, 111, and the other guy's going to have it, 115, 113. The other guy's going to have it 116, 112, whatever. If those numbers actually add up, I'm just going off the cuff. I don't care if there's 3 different scores, if they all have the same score, if there's 2 guys with the same score and 1 guy that didn't have it. If I had bet a unanimous decision, if I bet my prediction, I would have won. So I gave Anthony Joshua his credit before the fight happened. I could not see Andy Ruiz walking out of Saudi Arabia with those belts. Not at all. And guess what? Andy Ruiz, I think I make sure I say that right, because you guys like to take pictures of me. You like to cut my pictures off and edit what I say in little spots. Let me say it again. I did not see that Andy Ruiz was going to walk out of Saudi Arabia with those belts. And that's what I said. That was giving Anthony Joshua credit. I've always given Anthony Joshua credit for being a good fighter. What I am not going to do is follow you all down this hype job crap you got going all around him. His performance was masterclass. He looked like Ali. Deontay Wilder ducked him. Tyson Fury ducked him. He's the most popular fighter in America. I'm not going through all that crap with you all. That is just a bunch of nonsense that's put out there to try to continue to sell that. Those are marketing ploys to get you to buy into Anthony Joshua. I know Anthony Joshua is a competent fighter. I know that he's a good fighter. You don't win an Olympic gold medalist a medal without being a good fighter. I've never said Anthony Joshua was anything but a good fighter. He's just not the best fighter. He's just not Hall of Fame level talent. He is a good UK fighter who's been matched well, who I believe has been rushed along too quickly. And I also believe that he is probably the third best heavyweight. What you guys want to do is it's not good enough for him to be good. He has to be otherworldly, and Deontay Wilder has to be terrible. And that's why I said in the beginning about OG Boxing Talk, it's not the show for 18-year-olds. This is not the show for 22-year-olds. It's not if you just got out of high school, if in the United States or whatever you call school in the UK. If you just started watching boxing, this is not the show for you. We've been up, we've been down. We've seen hype job come. I've seen hype job go. I've seen hype job I've seen hype job pan out. I've seen hype job flame out. Over the years, you see these things. I'm calling it like I see it. Anthony Joshua is a good fighter, but there is a hype around him that is purely for the financial gain of matchroom boxing in Anthony Joshua. And all of the ticket sales, all of the pay-per-views, whatever they are or are not, do not affect him, did not affect my opinion of what I see of him in the ring, okay? I don't care if the Chicago Bulls, if the New Orleans Pelicans, or if they think they're the Pelicans in the basketball, I don't care if these guys don't sell as many tickets and they don't have a bunch of stars going to the basketball game. If they are a better team than the Lakers, I'm gonna say they're a better team than the Los Angeles Lakers. Even though the Los Angeles Lakers are in, they have all the stars at their games. They've got, they sell more tickets. The tickets cost more. They sell more memorabilia. They sell more merchandise. That shit don't make you a better team. If that was the case, the Dallas Cowboys would be the greatest football team in easily the best football team in football year after year after year after year. Them and the Pittsburgh Steelers, they would just be the biggest. They would always be the best team. If what you went after was how big their fan base is and how many shirts that they sell and how much people pay and how many people go to their games and how many people watch their games. The fact of the matter is the best team over the last decade has been the New England Patriots, and none of that shit's the case, okay? They were also Rams for the majority of their career, but when their team got good enough and they started winning championships, they started winning. They're the best team. That's what it is. Doesn't care. I don't care whether or not the stadium in Dallas is bigger than theirs, or if there's more fans and more people that like the Dallas Cowboys than like the Patriots. They were the better team. Same thing goes for Anthony Joshua and Deontay Wilder. I don't care whether or not Anthony Joshua fought in front of 90,000 people and whether all you guys in the UK love him to death. That has got shit to do with whether or not he's going to beat Deontay Wilder. But you guys just try to find a way to diminish everything Deontay Wilder does. It would be like somebody, because you're the Dallas Cowboys, that the Dallas Cowboys never have to play the Patriots because how many tickets do they sell? How many tickets do they sell? It's ridiculous, man. Anyway, that's enough of that rant, man. Y'all getting on my nerves because you guys are back. Now, I knew you guys were going to come back. I knew it. And so I kept an eye on my comment section and listening to what you guys say. It's clear like you guys are like 18-year-old, like you're 18, 19, 20-year-old kids. Dude, you want to call somebody that's 50 a grandpa, but you don't realize that you're just a little kid. You literally are still wet behind the ears from popping up out your mama. You don't know what you're talking about. All you're doing is reading, and you don't have much of attention span because the articles you quote, you don't even actually read the whole thing. Grow up. Anyway, AJ gonna get knocked out again. I'm telling you. He's gonna get knocked out again because he did not prove that he had a chin against Andy Ruiz. That problem, the book is still out on that. Anyway, it is what it is. Let me know what you think on the comment section. And with that, I'm out. Peace.